Eh. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What Drives You. And man, do we got a special one for you today. Welcome, Stanley Windhorn. How are you?
I'm good, Carl. Hey, that intro was much better. What was that weird noise you made at the beginning of what was that?
I think it was just a sigh of relief after a little laughter, a little humor, a little joke we shared privately amongst us old
I
geezers.
see. Well, hello everyone. Welcome. We're finally going
Today,
to have a subject matter that I am a subject matter expert on.
yes, that's what I was going to share. So today we're talking about what drives you, Stan, crazy in the dating world, dating in 2025. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, folks, Stan's good at a lot of things. He's a master at a few things. But when you're talking about a master class, like PhD level dating, this is your guy. This is
I
your,
definitely put the PH level hours into it, if that matters.
in our preparation, I was thinking about maybe we should have tallied up like the last, I don't know, 10 years of dating, like receipts. But then I thought that would be like the national debt, that ticker that zips by.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't need to know.
But this is where I think we can help people and you can help people. So I just celebrated my 35th anniversary with my lovely wife, Beth, this last June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's not easy. It's hard work. It's a partnership. It's all that. But I get to live vicariously through a couple friends who are single, and Stanley is the one, the guy. So as far as
Well,
applications and dating systems and dating processes and all that, Stan is our
yeah.
expert
Well,
go-to
I
guy.
think I need to have a whole nother podcast just on dating. In today's world, in my general age group, it certainly is different than it was when I was a young man and before the internet and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been at it off and on for a number of years. I would like to preface this by saying I really feel like I'm a relationship guy. I would prefer to be in a relationship, but maybe, I make the joke that, we all have baggage, but hopefully it fits in the overhead compartment or in the seat in front of you. And I'd like to think that my baggage is that way, but then there's times where I feel very much like a character on the Seinfeld TV show because, yeah, sometimes I have the tendency to find something that just maybe isn't just right.
Well, before we go there,
Yes.
Kramer or Costanza,
Yes.
whichever one we're playing today, I will say this in all honesty, for those of you who are watching and those who are going to share this, Stan is one of the kindest, most generous, respectful um, daters that I have ever seen. Holding doors, tying shoes, opening doors.
I don't know how many shoes I've tied, but I get that. I appreciate that.
Yes. So this is not we're trying to cover up for some scumbag
No.
dating misogynist. This is a truly knight in shining armor to many ladies who have had
Yeah,
those.
armor's a little rusted and dented right now. If you're my age and your armor's still shiny, you haven't been through any battles.
Yeah, you've been through a lot of
But yeah,
battles.
I mean, I get this question a lot. Why are you still single? And I have a group of friends that are at a place where I hang out a lot, and they are always like, oh, they've seen me with different people, and they have a hard time keeping it straight and all this stuff, which I totally get. So I certainly am not pointing the finger at the women that I've dated why I'm not haven't found the one just yet. But I mean, I really do believe, and I have sounding boards such as you, Carl, that I always try to treat women with respect and I treat them well. I do kind of have a low tolerance for bullshit. I mean, you made a comment when you were talking about your marriage, and I know a lot of people say this, but I say it a little bit different. I believe that a really solid relationship does take effort on both parts. And it's not 50-50, Carl. It should be 100% and 100%, trying to make the other person happy. Um, but it does take effort on both parts, but it shouldn't be hard work. I don't want to have to be in a relationship where I'm constantly having to worry about, oh, did I say something wrong? Or, I told you about a date I had recently where we went out and I'm telling you, every single thing I said, every move I made, everything I did was the wrong thing all night. Well, I couldn't even order the right thing on the menu for myself. Not ordering for her. Oh, what are you gonna have? I'm gonna have lasagna. You're not having the lasagna. I'm like, oh well, okay. I mean, sorry, but that's not the kind of thing that I'm looking for in a date.
And when you tell me these stories, what do I say?
Um, oh yeah, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well,
Sometimes there's a little bit of that in that particular one. You may remember that I did a little test towards the end of the evening, the last hour and a half, since I couldn't say anything that was correct. I mean, she's telling me some story probably about her ex-husband and what a jerk he was. And I would say something like, oh, well, that must have been really hard to deal with. No, that wasn't hard. It was this and this and this. And I'm like, whoa. So what I decided to do is the last hour to 2 hours of the day, I didn't speak one word of English. All I did was go, oh, and guess what? She never even noticed.
well, let me
So,
back up a second. I used
yeah.
the wrong single. This is red flag. This is not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh,
Just
red
because
flag.
people might think badly of me that I do say cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of some
Yeah,
of
I
your
mean,
choices, which may be accurate. It's more red flag, and I think
yeah.
we all have to have friends who will point those things out to us, like, hey, that's not normal, dude.
Well, if I were giving advice, dating advice, especially at my age group, you should be very well aware of a few things. You should be aware of what it is that you're looking for. You should be well aware of what you're bringing to the table, but you should also be well aware of your red flags and don't ignore them. You don't want to spend a lot of time when nothing's worse than 6 months or 5 years into it and you're like, man, all the signs were there and I just ignored them. You don't want to do that either. But at the same time, and I hope I'm pretty good with this, and again, I have someone like you as a sounding board. That was the proper use of again. Um, it, you got to be able to look in the mirror and go, okay, what is it that I did here? And it's interesting, Carl, because I've had a few things recently where I don't normally ask. If the girl's not interested, okay, no problem. You can't be everybody's cup of tea. But I've asked because there's been a couple of times where I thought things were going really well, and then they decided to call it off. And so the curiosity of it, I just had to ask. And I've had a couple of them that have clarified for me. And I thank them for clarifying for me, and I thank them for calling it off because they're right. It wouldn't have worked. Um,
Well, the yeah, I think well, because again, time is short. Why waste your time? It's very valuable. Number one. Um, but number two, you don't. I think when you go into these things and you sense that red flag or that awkwardness or whatever, you don't owe them a whole waste your whole night on either side, right? If you get there and you're like, hey
yeah.
man, your picture's not what you said. You're about 40 years older than you. But
Oh, you want to talk about that little
hey,
incident that happens?
well,
Yeah.
let's get down and dirty. We're trying to help some people, and
All right.
then add a little context here to Stan because I want to share and back up. Stan has had a couple long-term relationships that were very um, uh, good for a season, and so it's not like he's not experienced that. That just for some
Sure.
context.
Well, I was married for 17 years, and most of that was pretty successful. And like I said, I prefer to be in a relationship, but I don't know. I won't settle for nonsense and gold diggery.
Hmm.
Uh, that was one where I asked, I thought everything was going really, really well. And then she was like, I just don't know if this is going to work out. And it turns out I wasn't taking her to the nice enough restaurant yet. And I don't go to cheap restaurants on dates, but she was asking to go to the prime of the prime of the prime. And I'm like, I need to get to know somebody before I'm willing to go that route. In fact, that would be part of my advice to anybody out there who's dating is the first date, maybe even the first couple, keep it short, meet for a drink or a cup of coffee. You don't want to get stuck into a whole dinner if you know right away that there's just no chance of there being anything going further. Um,
I know
had
you.
another one recently. I thought everything was going great. We were communicating really well. She lives about an hour and a half away, which is tough. That's one thing that I've kind of learned too. And so we decided to meet for dinner. So I picked a place that was about halfway between us. Actually, a little more her side than mine. So I'd have gone a little bit further, but she got sort of insulted by that. Um, the guy I want is going to do everything for me, and he's going to come to me. And, and I'm just like, God bless you. I hope you find what you're looking for, but that won't work for me. I'm not, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I know with me, Stan, you're always, you know, taking me to my favorite place. It's a Rudy's Barbecue in a gas
uh,
station. So I know you're not a cheap fella because those
no,
meals can get expensive, and it's my fave.
sure.
So I appreciate it.
Even if you go to a reasonably nice place, you're going to drop some money on a date. And you're right. I don't add it up because I could have retired a long time ago if I'd have had no interest in dating.
Can we quick run through your kind of your I know you've used some different platforms. And again, we're on
uh
social media sort of through YouTube. So can I just throw out some names and you tell me what's your opinion of those or what drives you crazy about those things?
Sure. But I've got a general statement for most of them. But go ahead.
So I'm going to throw out some eHarmony. Thoughts on eHarmony?
I tried eHarmony a long, long time ago, and I don't even know if they're still around. But their big pitch was we've got this scientific algorithm to match you with the perfect person, and it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. They have no, whatever it is, it's all nonsense. I met a couple of people. What drove me crazy about that one, and again, I don't even know if they're still around, but they wouldn't even introduce you to the person. You had to answer all these questions and go back and forth, which I get the theory is okay, now you're not dating because you think the person's attractive. You're getting to know the real person. And at the end of it all, it was just nonsense. By the way, I'm not saying all matchmakers who charge a lot of money are nonsense, but I've had some experience there too. Not that I was ever paid. Did I ever tell you the it's just lunch story?
Oh, that's on my list to ask you about. It's just lunch. There, let's
Yeah.
fire away.
All right. Well, first of all, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I was helping a buddy of mine who had an advertising business, which was kind of cool. But when you're selling advertising, you pay attention to advertising. If they have billboards, okay, they spend money. If they do radio ads, they spend money. They advertise. So almost every advertisement becomes your focus and it becomes a lead. Well, when I'm flying, it used to be in the magazines. You'd open it up and there'd be a full page to both sides for it's just lunch. The entrepreneur and myself was like, man, whoever came up with that name is brilliant. I love it. So this is when I fairly recently became single after my marriage. So I called on the local It's Just Lunch in California. And they were interested in the advertising, so we met a few times. But every time I'd meet with them, they'd say, Stan, you really should join It's Just Lunch. We need a tall guy like you. And I thought that was kind of weird statements and everything, but I think it was $1,500 at the time, and they would fix you up on 6 dates. $1,500, 6 dates. I'm like,
Well,
nah,
hold on,
that's okay. Yeah,
pause there for a second. The fifteen
yeah.
hundred, does that include drinks, food, no, or is that just
No, those are
okay?
for 6 introductions.
Okay. All right. Just make it clear.
Yes. Yes. No, that does not include any of the expenses.
So then you got 6 times 100 for the meal and the drink.
Well, you're supposed to, with It's Just Lunch, it's supposed to be Dutch treat where you each
Oh,
pay your own way, but that didn't work for me. I can't do it. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Even on the really crappy dates, I pay because my Midwestern upbringing and
Yeah.
all that. But anyway,
All right.
so this is before I'd ever tried online dating, and it was really before online dating was popular at all. Um, but I'm like, nah, it's okay. I do fine on my own or whatever, whatever, whatever. Well, I'm trying to close the deal. So I finally said, I'll tell you what, I'll knock $1,500 off the advertising in exchange for a membership. I'm trying to close the deal. Didn't think much of it. The deal ended up getting stalled, but all of a sudden I started getting phone calls. Hi, this is so and so with It's Just Lunch. I'm a counselor at It's Just Lunch, and we would like you to meet so and so. And I'm like, well, okay. So you meet at a lunch place that they do arrange that. And the first couple of ladies were very nice. They didn't turn out to be a love connection, but I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Well, now I'm getting two, three, four of these phone calls a week. We want you to meet so and so. We want you to meet so and so. And I'm going on these dates. And again, it's getting expensive. But I mean, sometimes you just know instantly there's no match. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm all that or anything like that, but you're just like, there's no way that their algorithm or their matchmaking skills are going, this person and this person look like a good match. So I'm like, what in the world is going on? Well, one day I'm at this place, we called it the Swap Meet, the Orange County Marketplace, beautiful outdoor shopping thing in Southern California. And I see this woman kind of looking at me. And she finally comes up. She goes, "Are you Stan?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm Janine. I'm one of the counselors at It's Just Lunch." And I'm like, "I'd like to have a little talk with you, Janine." I said, "First of all, you need to change the name from It's Just Lunch to It's Just a Waste of My Freaking Time." I'm like, "Come on, what's going on? I never bought a membership. You don't have a profile, but you guys are calling me 3, 4 times a week." And she's like, "Well, you're what we call a resource." I'm like, "What's that mean?" She goes, "Well, you're a tall guy and the women give back great reports on how nice the conversation went and all this kind of stuff. So, we've got all these women who paid $1,500 and we need somebody to set them up on dates with." And I said, "Wait a minute, I'm the It's Just Lunch gigolo?"
You felt like a piece of meat.
I did. Anyway, kind of
Terrible.
interesting is I'm like, "Well, Janine, I notice you don't have a ring on." She's like, "No, I'm single." So Janine and I actually ended up dating for a while, and we're still good friends to this day. But yeah, that's when I went, okay, matchmaker, smatchmaker. It's all nonsense. It's all just a money grab. So my overall reaching thing for all of these, the only thing you can expect from them is an introduction. That's it. They're all the same. It's just an introduction.
All right. Well, don't cut me off now because I got to go to Bumble. But what's our
But I gotta tell
Bumbles?
you, I gotta tell you one more. It's just lunch story though, because
Okay.
this one's super
All right.
funny. So this is one of the only times I met for a drink instead of lunch. But I'm sitting here with this person, and she seemed okay. Asked her what she did for a living. You've actually met this person. He was on What Drives You, Jack Ryan, who runs the Bourbon Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Jack?
Yeah.
She tells me what she does for a living. I said, "Oh, my buddy does that." She goes, "What's his name?" I'm like, "Jack Ryan." She goes, "Oh my God, Jack's my boss. So we should call him." So she calls Jack. She's like, "Jack, I'm here on a date with Stan," and she goes, "He wants to say hi." And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, my brother?" And he goes, "I want you to listen to me very carefully. Get up and run. Don't pay for it. Just get up and run. This girl is, I'll use your term, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You don't want anything to do with it. Get out of there as fast as you can." I'm like, "All right, brother. Nice talking to you." But anyway,
And you didn't get up and run.
no, I'm nice.
Ah, Stan. That's what good friends are for. And that sounds like a good friend. Now I really want to go see him at the Bourbon Museum.
After I dated her for 6 or 7 months, he was right.
Well,
Just kidding. I didn't go on a second date.
all right.
All right, go.
Hinged. Hinged. Let's go to
Hinge.
Hinged.
It's not hinged. It's hinge.
Hey, I'm a rookie.
Hinge is it's there's nothing different about it. It's just a way to meet people. It's the same kind of thing where you swipe right if you like them, swipe left if you don't. If you both match, then you get a conversation. What a lot of these dating apps are doing now is you can join for free, but you can't see a lot of stuff. So like Hinge, if you don't pay the monthly fee, they'll send you stuff going, so and so likes you. And then they'll give you a little blurred out thing of her picture. So if you want to see all the ones that like you or that have viewed you, then you got to cough up the dough. But yeah, Hinge is not, there's nothing about it, in my experience, that sets it apart from others. You mentioned Bumble a second ago. Bumble had kind of a cool little hitch to it. Same type of thing. Swipe right if you like them, swipe left if they're not your cup of tea. If you both swipe right, you match. But with Bumble, what made it unique is that if you matched, it was up to the woman to make first contact and start the conversation. And there was parts of that that I really liked, although I'll be honest with you, there were women that I had met on Bumble that they were uncomfortable in that role because it's not the traditional role. So that was a little bit of a double-edged thing. But again, Bumble, it's just an introduction. That's it. No
What
magic.
about my last one, which I don't
Mhm.
know if you and I have even talked about this. I have a friend who's done well with in some introductions. Is the Facebook?
Farmers only?
No, not far.
No?
That's the
Oh,
one I couldn't remember. Farmers only. No, Facebook dating. Some Facebook dating
yeah.
beta, or maybe it's not in
Yeah.
every market. I don't know, but
As much of an expert I am, I have never really tried Facebook dating. I probably should check into it a little bit just because I'm assuming that you get to see someone's entire Facebook profile, even though mine's not going to give them much of an insight because I don't really do a lot of that social media. But a lot of people do. They list every single thing in the world. So I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one.
all right, that's some homework. All right, so in all though, Stan,
Yeah, yeah.
what drives you crazy about dating in 20?
There's several things. Ghosting, it always sucks. You're talking with somebody and then they just disappear. You don't know why. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that because it's all fair. You got to expect that. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea and vice versa, but it's sometimes like, man, what happened? And you don't know what happened. That drives me crazy. Um, Endless texting and not meeting drives me crazy because what's the point? But the big one, and this happens more than it should, and I don't know that it's really catfishing. You know the term catfishing,
Yep, yep,
where people are online pretending they're somebody that they're not.
yep.
The, I don't know that it's been catfishing in that they're a completely different person, but it happens more often than it should, where the person who is their pictures in their profile is not the person who shows up on the date. And I've shared some of these with you. And I
Yes.
mean, we're talking their pictures, it might be the same person, but their pictures are 15 years ago and 40 pounds ago, kind of a thing. And it's not fair and it sucks. Now, listen, you're going to put good pictures of yourself on your profile. You're not going to go, wow, I look like crap in this picture. I'm going to put that on my dating profile. You put good pictures, but you should be a fair representation of who you are. Um, in fact, let me ask your opinion on this, Carl. I may have asked you this before, but let's say this happens again. I mean, one not too long ago was just egregious. Don't you love that word egregious? It was
Egregious.
egregious, Carl. I mean, her pictures were so far off to the way she looked then. And I'm not saying she wasn't a nice person, but I'm like, and I'm a nice guy, so I'm sitting there having a drink, probably even bought her dinner. But I'm wondering if that's the right move for her, not for me, or maybe for me too. But maybe what I should do is when it happens like that and it's that far off, I should just call it out right then and there and just say, you know what? You weren't honest about yourself on this, and that's not a good start for me, and it's not something that I care to participate in. I'm going to encourage you to be honest, on your profiles because there's somebody out there for you too. But I am not going to even have a drink with you and get up and walk away. Even though it sounds harsh, and it might be compared to being nice and sitting there stewing the whole time, but it may be doing them a better favor by calling them out on it than because I don't get what do they think is going to happen?
Well, it's false advertising, and you and I are in the advertising business for much of our lives, and it's just not right. It's not fair. And to your point, as I've aged, I'm more like, oh, let's get in their shoes. Obviously, they're lonely. They're
Hang
trying to
on
find.
a second. Someone's trying to match with you real quick. Just kidding.
Of course, they are. Um, but I think I would actually encourage you to do that. I know it's hard to do because you are a kind and
So you
compassionate
would say
person.
something.
Yeah, I I wouldn't. Why waste $100, 2 hours, and without the? It's not truth. It's not
Right.
transparency. It's not truth. It could be the nicest person in the world. It could end up being your friend for years and years and years, and hanging out. But it's just not. It's
Well, we
false.
have a mutual friend who, and I don't know about this, but he will sit in the parking lot and texting with the person and asking them what they're wearing. And then he watches them come in. And then if they pull one of those things, then he just texts them, said, something came up and just bails on them.
If then he's
I'm
doing the
not,
same. He's doing the same. False advertising or deceit that.
yeah, well, I'm not exactly the same, but it's still that ghosting thing. It's just. And I've
I
had I've
think
had some women that have asked me, well, what happened? Why don't you want to go on another date? And that's another one I struggle with. I don't want to say you didn't look at anything close to your pictures or whatever. So I just like, well, I just didn't feel a connection or whatever, but maybe I should be a little more honest and it'd be doing them a bigger favor than being kind.
maybe we should start an app stand that takes pictures of people when they first wake up. No makeup, no not like this to get in this community. You got to do a wake up picture today. It's got to be time
Some women
stamped.
will do those. Some will put their picture on there saying, "This is me with no makeup" or
Yeah,
whatever, and
yeah,
it's nice.
yeah. I don't know. I feel for you. I feel for all my single friends, my daughters who are one's dating, one's single. It's a hard time. It's a hard season, and I've encouraged Stan. And this is just from an old guy that was able to and blessed to meet his spouse at a place of interest, of common interest. We met at summer camp, but go to those places. And Stan and I have had this conversation and debate a lot, which is go volunteer, go serve, go donate time. But even those people, they're not always there. They're
Eh,
not.
eh.
I don't
I'm
think you're giving it
sorry.
a.
That doesn't make any difference. It doesn't
I
make
don't
any
think you.
difference. The dating pool is the dating pool. Where you meet them has no bearing in my vast experience on whether or not things are going to ultimately work out. The only thing you're saving yourself from is you're not going to be talking to someone who's lying about their pictures. You see exactly what they look like if you meet them somewhere. And let me make one other thing clear. Your sympathy, I really don't need that either. Yes, there's been some bad dates which turn into funny stories, but I have a good life and I would much rather continue looking for my person, the right person, than to be in something that, is it's a re, in fact, I think that's one of the problems that happens in this world of dating, especially in our age group, is that people want to be in a relationship so bad that they'll just settle. And then they end up being in another miserable relationship. And so that doesn't appeal to me.
Time out.
Were
You
you
just.
timing me out?
I was timing you out because you just lumped me into your age group. That's uncalled for right
I
there.
did on purpose, yes. Okay,
50s,
lack of hair
60s,
group. How's that?
general. Well, then I take my sympathy back. It's coming back to me. You
Yeah,
keep you keep
I
it
have a
up,
great life.
chasing the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Hey, that's not true. Most of the ladies are very, very nice. Even if it's not a love match, I have met many, many very nice people, many of whom have become friends,
I
just because it's
concur.
not a love connection.
I've met some of them, and they are truthfully very nice. But I am looking forward, Stan, to, and I'm challenging you right here, right now, in front of all these dozens of people
Hey,
that
easy.
you
All right.
should run a dating channel because you do have a lot of wisdom and a wealth of experience, and you do look at both sides. You really do.
I've talked about it a lot, and if I did do a channel on dating, I would absolutely invite female guest hosts to give me their side of stories. If I really could do what I really want to do, is have some of the ones that didn't work out. I would love to hear what their side of the story is. And I do try to look in the mirror but we all justify things. We all justify stuff. And so maybe I just think I'm a really nice guy to them when they would say, "No, you said something that really offended me or whatever." I don't know. I can't imagine what it is. You know this. I talk to you about it. I'm like, I just tell me if I'm missing something here. Is this nutty to me, or is there something that I did that was wrong? Because that one thing I never want to do is I don't ever want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't ever want to treat anybody inappropriately or wrong. Um, but yeah, that would be great. I would love to have, maybe you need to do that part of it, Carl. You could get a hold of some of my past dates and say, "Remember, Stan, what happened?" That would be great.
Where are they now? Like a where are they now type of episode.
Well, just hear their side of the story. I would love to hear their side of the story. I really would, especially some of them that did not end pleasantly, like the one that I was talking about where I couldn't do anything correctly.
Yeah.
I walked on eggshells for a couple more times, and then I couldn't take it anymore. And so if it makes me a jerk that I finally said, "You know what? I don't want to be treated this way. I don't treat you this way. I'm not putting up with it." And
Well,
she said, "Well, that's the kind of attitude that'll show you the door." I'm like, "You don't even need to point it out. I know exactly where it is."
I'm a nosy person, and you know that I love stories, and I would
Yes.
those would probably be some of the most treasured stories that we could share with the world and share with you. And
I'll give you a list. I'll
I,
give you a list. You reach out to a few of them, just see if they're willing to do it. That'd be great. Oh my gosh, I would love to hear their side of the story. We'd love it.
yeah, okay. Let's take that offline. Anyway, thank you
Yeah,
everybody. Thank you, Stan, for sharing. For sincerely for sharing some of the down and dirty and the goods, the highs and bad. I
yeah,
mean, highs and lows of dating. But I hope I know there's a person out there for you, partner
sure.
for you.
She's out there. She'll, you know, you gotta keep looking, or you know.
What
I
did
have
Wayne?
another buddy of mine who refuses to do online dating or anything. By the way, when I first started doing it, it still had that kind of, like, if you meet somebody and you started dating, you would make up a story how you met because you didn't want to say you met on Match.com or whatever. But now it's so common. That's how most people meet. But he absolutely refuses to do anything to meet somebody. But he wants to have a woman in his life. So when I talk to him, I'm like, "Hey man, did she show up yet?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "The woman of your dreams. Has she rang your doorbell?" He's like, "No, she hasn't rung the doorbell yet." And I'm like, "Well, are you sure your doorbell still works?" He goes, "I don't know. I haven't checked it." And I'm like, "Maybe three or four Mrs. Wrights have come ringing your doorbell and you just don't know it." But I mean, it's just like anything else in life, business, friendships, whatever. You got to put some effort in, and uh, you got to take the good with the bad.
Wayne Gretzky said it. I think you will miss 100% of the shots you do not take, Stan.
The
That's it.
great one.
That's a good one. The great
Was
one.
he talking about dating?
I don't know if maybe. I think it applies to everything in life. But anyway, have a great night. Get onto your date. Get onto your Match or Bumble or
No
whatever
date
you got
tonight.
going tonight.
No date tonight. Projects tonight.
All right. See you, brother.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Be good humans.